Tuesday. We're going to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers did suffer the loss last night to the Baltimore Ravens. 42-30 was the final. But most importantly, guys, the Bucs lost wide receiver Chris Godwin to a dislocated ankle the last minute of the game. He should probably miss the rest of the season. I haven't heard any reports one way or the other, but I'm assuming probably in the next few days we'll hear that he's on IR and season-ending IR. A dislocated ankle is a very, very tough injury to come back from. But guys, is it an overreaction to say that the Buccaneers' postseason hopes are now all over with the loss of Chris Godwin? So when we look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Buccaneers dropped to 4-3 on the season. They are now second in the NFC South behind the Atlanta Falcons. They do play the Atlanta Falcons for the second time this season next week. They lost to the Atlanta Falcons back in Week 5, 36-30. So if they lose to the Falcons, there'll be basically a 2-game swing. They'll be back 2 games. Excuse me. Also, during that game, Mike Evans injured his hamstring again as well, really limiting that wide receiver core. Jarrett is also already on the IR. Now, after the Falcons, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do play the Kansas City Chiefs, the San Francisco 49ers, and then they head into a bye week, and they have back-to-back road games versus the Giants and division foe, the Carolina Panthers. So, guys, is it an overreaction or a underreaction to say that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' all postseason hopes are now over with the Chris Godwin injury? Guys, this is not an overreaction. This is not an overreaction. It is time to panic in Tampa Bay. Not only is it time to panic, they need to hit the trade market now. They need to fill this wide receiver void right now. This is not an overreaction. Chris Godwin, guys, is the X factor on this team. He is the reason why Mike Evans has 100 career touchdowns receiving. He is the reason why Cade Otton had a great game last night versus the Baltimore Ravens. He is the reason why Baker Mayfield has been a top 10 quarterback the last 2 seasons. He is the reason why the Bucs have won a Super Bowl. The Bucs need to hit the trade market right now, and they need to hit it hard if they want to have a chance to compete in January. You cannot replace a player like Chris Godwin. You cannot replace his X factor ability, but they do need to find somebody that can that can attempt to try to fill that void. They do have 6 draft picks coming up in 2025 still. They have their 1 through 5 round picks and a 7th round pick as well. They currently do have a $10 million cap space. So there are players out there that they can go get with that $10 million cap space. DeAndre Hopkins would require pretty much that whole cap. Calvin Ridley, about the same. Jacoby Myers, about a $5 million cap hit. So they do have some room to play. They do have some room to go out there and get a receiver. But guys, is it an overreaction or underreaction with the entry of Chris Godwin that with the Buccaneers' postseason's hopes are over? I think it's not an overreaction. I think it's time to panic. So let's go ahead and jump into the comments. Let's jump into the comments to see what the people are saying. James Franken, Mike Evans was injured too. Yes, Mike Evans he hurt his hamstring on Tuesdays or Wednesday practice of last week, and then re-aggravated it in the end zone touchdown pass that he dropped. So he is listed as day-to-day, but hamstrings are a serious thing, especially for a receiver. We saw Juju, right, hurt his hammy on Wednesday. Everybody said he was good to go for the Chiefs versus the 49ers. Ran one route, planted, and he was out for the whole game. So it could be a lingering injury for Mike Evans. Mark Lewis says this is an overreaction, but it's a big loss for them to be done. So Mark is saying slow it down. Tampa Bay Buccaneers still got Mike Evans. They still got Rashid Weiss. They still got Baker Mayfield. They still got an offense that's putting up a lot of points. But Mark, what you don't understand is the reason why that offense is putting up a lot of points. The reason why the offense is doing its thing is because Chris Godwin allows teams to not double Mike Evans. It allows teams to not be able to stack the box. It allows teams to have to worry about everybody on the field. Because if you double up Mike Evans, Chris Godwin has the ability to go off. If you double team Godwin, Mike Evans has the ability to go off. If you say we're going to bail out and stop the pass and force the run, Rashid White has the ability to really bring those guys back up in there. And it all starts with Chris Godwin. So now that Chris Godwin is out, you can double Mike Evans. You can worry about stopping the run. And, we'll let the 5th and 6th string receivers try to beat us. Good luck with that. I don't know. James West says, with Godwin down, no. But no Godwin or Evans cooked. So you guys are thinking, even though Chris Godwin is out, the Buccaneers can still make a postseason run. Still can win the division. Still can win a wild card game. A divisional game. I don't think you guys are putting much stock into Chris Godwin. He is the X factor on this team. He is good. He is good. He is good. And Derek says, nah. Baker knows how to spread the love. He knows how to spread the love because Chris Godwin it gives you single coverage across the field. He gives you the ability to have single coverage on Mike Evans. Has the ability to not have to worry about Otten, right? I don't know. Baker Dangerfield not down. Baker Mayfield is a dog. Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback in the league. But he wasn't a top 10 quarterback for the Browns. He wasn't a top 10 quarterback for the Panthers or of the Rams. Granted, he didn't get time, but ever since in Bucks, he's a top 10 quarterback. Thanks to Chris Godwin. Mark Lewis thinks they'll go after Cooper Kupp. I didn't even think about Cooper Kupp, but he's injury prone, plague too, right? He seems to have a lot of injuries. I don't know if it's just his use or his size or what, but he gets injured a lot. But Laura says panic mode needs to be activated. Yeah, it does. Panic. Chris Godwin is the X factor, I think. And I don't see any way that I can be wrong on this. The Bucks need to be hitting the trade market. They need to be on the phone with the Jags or the Titans right now. Christian Kirk would be a great addition. Even I think he has like a $15 million salary cap hit. Now, we all know salary cap is fake, but Christian Kirk would be a great addition to Godwin. And then when Godwin comes back, healthy Mike Evans for next season, slow it down, baby. James Frank says, make that rookie that ran the reverse of superstar. What rookie are we talking about here, James? Are we talking about the rookie that's on the IR now? Let me look, because I don't know the receivers. Was it Sterling Shepard? I believe that's who you're referring to. Sterling Shepard? No, it's not Sterling Shepard. I don't know. I don't know. What, Trey Palmer? I mean, he's a second-year player. I don't know who you're talking about, James. I don't know. I think the only rookie that we're thinking of is Cameron Johnson, which he is on the IR, and Jared's on the IR too. They're both rookies. But let me know. Mark Lewis says Kupp is available and he could replace Godwin without a problem, and as he could. But is the salary cap there? We've seen Amari Cooper and Devontae Adams go for a 3rd round pick. Both of them. Are the Rams willing to part ways with just a 3rd round pick with their number 1 guy, Cooper Kupp? Or are the Rams in complete rebuild mode? Yeah, take a 3rd round pick. That would be perfect. I agree. Laura Johnson says Baker Mayfield was a top 10 quarterback throughout at OU. Tyreek Hill to the Bucks. What would it take for the Miami Dolphins to give up a player like Tyreek Hill? Obviously, the Buccaneers would have to finagle a lot of contracts to get his da-da-da bills in there. But I don't know. That would be interesting. Definitely don't see it happening. James West says Bucky Irving to fill Chris Godwin's spot as a running back? Potentially. Mark Lewis says, and Baker Mayfield took a garbage Browns team to the playoffs. He did. With a torn rotator cuff too, right? Or was it rotator cuff or AC joint? Can't remember. But yeah, Baker Mayfield is a dog. But guys, is it time to panic in Tampa Bay with Chris Godwin going down? Overreaction.